So, as you may or may not know, I am Canadian. And as you may or may not know, Canada Day is coming up July 1st. Well, actually, it is. So, with Canadian GP just coming up, and for Canada Day special, I figured why not rank the Canadian drivers who have had 5 or more Grand Prix starts? I'm also going to do one for you Americans with 10 or plus starts, and this is all from Wikipedia. So I will have 2 specials this year. Alright, so first up we have George Eaton. Georgia boy. His career lasted from 1969 to 1971. He had 11 starts, 0 poles, 0 podiums, 0 wins, 0 champions, and 0 points. I mean, you can't, I don't think anybody belongs in D tier because, I mean, then again, you gotta think, there was like so many different drivers back then and stuff. Like, it was insane. So, you can't really. Maybe I can. Let me see what his highest finish was in this. Maybe his best finish was a 10th. So yeah, C tier. 11 starts, best of 10. That'd be 1 point in modern day Formula One. Next up, we have Gilles Villeneuve. Really, probably the first ever Canadian icon when it comes to motorsport racing, at least when it comes to F1. Gilles was the guy who, you know, kind of helped put Canada on the map. He was active from 1977 to 1982. Yes, a smaller career, but he would tragically lose his life in an accident. He had 67 starts, 2 pole positions, 13 podiums, 6 wins, 0 championships, and 101 points. I think Gilles would have been a world champion. I do. If his career lasted any longer, if he didn't tragically pass away, I think Gilles would have definitely been a world champion. And he would have been Canada's first world champion. We'll get to Canada's first and only world champion a little later. If you know, you know. But yeah, Gilles' career was tragically cut short. It inspired his son Jacques to become a race car driver. And Jacques would really succeed not only in just F1, but NASCAR, IndyCar, all of it. But yeah, this is F1. And Gilles, you got to put him in an A tier. Gilles Villeneuve he was a case, he was a person we lost way too soon. And, he, even with such a short sample size, he was still really good. And plus, he was racing for Ferrari at the time. So I definitely think he could have won a world championship or two if he hadn't tragically passed away. Next up, we have Alan Berg. He was active from just in the 86 season. He had 9 starts, 0 poles, 0 podiums, 0 wins, 0 championships, 0 points. You put him no more than that. That's all I can really say about him. Next, we have Jacques Villeneuve, son of Gilles Villeneuve, and the first ever Canadian F1 champion and the only Canadian F1 champion until Lance Stroll wins it in 2026, baby. No. Okay, if this ages with like fine milk and he does win the championship, yikes. But yeah, Jacques Villeneuve, he was active from 96 to 2006 in F1. He had 163 starts, 13 poles, 23 podiums, 11 wins, 1 championship in the 97 season, and 235 points. Somehow only the second highest points tally for all of Canada. If you know who the highest is, we'll get to him in a bit. Jacques had a really successful motor racing career. If we were just talking motor racing, Jacques Villeneuve goes right in the S tier. He was an IndyCar champion before he came to F1. He's raced in NASCAR and done good in NASCAR. He's a Formula One world champion. He's a Formula One world race winner. He's like, Jacques was baptized in motorsport because of his father. But considering this is only F1, I am going to put him in A tier with right beside his father. Actually, I am putting him in top of the A tier. You could argue he is an S tier driver just because he is the only one with a championship on this list. And I wouldn't argue that because, winning the world championship, you know, in those, it takes a lot to win the world champion. It was way easier back then because of less races. But, you know, actually, no, you know what? I am going to put Jacques Villeneuve, sorry, in S. He beat Michael Schumacher. He rivaled Schumacher. Like, let me just list off some of the names that he beat in competition in that 97 season. Give me the drivers. Okay, can I see the drivers? Give me just who. So he beat David Coulthard. He beat Gerhard Berger, Michael Schumacher, Fisichella, Mika Hakkinen, Hans Harald Frentzen, like Jacques Jacques Jean Alesi, like Jacques Villeneuve raced some top people and won. Yeah, he's got to go S tier just because of his competition. Like, if I were to do a Dutch one, I'd put Max in S tier for the simple fact that he's a four-time world champion, but he's beaten some of the best current drivers. He's beaten Alonso, Hamilton, Leclerc, Norris, Piastri, Norris, Ricardo, Raikkonen. Except Raikkonen, I don't think was racing in 2021. Latifi, Goat Tifi. Yeah, no, Jacques Villeneuve S tier after further thought, just because of his competition. Next up, Lance Stroll, arguably the longest and most depressing resume that we have here. We have Lance Stroll, who has been active since 2017. He has 171 race starts, 1 pole position, 3 podiums, 0 wins, 0 championships, and 306 points. I can't put him any higher than a B tier. He's not anywhere near Gilles or Jacques Villeneuve. But I mean, I guess he's better than the dudes who didn't get any poles, didn't get any podiums, didn't get any wins, didn't get any points. You can't say he's not better than them, so. And finally, we have Nicholas Latifi. Of course, it's Nicholas Latifi. And if you don't disagree with this setting, Editor Jam, put up that one picture of Nicholas Latifi. If you think this goes hard, you agree with this ranking. If you don't think this goes hard, you are wrong. The only man. Now, his resume, active for 2 years, 61 starts, 0 poles, 0 podiums, 0 wins, 0 championships, 9 whole points, and a championship assist. Truly the GOAT of F1. And if you disagree, you are wrong. I've been your host, Moon, and this was just a little fun little video to, kind of just celebrate the heritage of Canadians in F1 on Canada's birthday. So, just for final recap, in the GOAT tier, we have Nicholas Goatifi. S tier, we have Jacques Villeneuve, the only Canadian champion in F1 history so far. I don't know, this knobhead could win one eventually. Jacques Villeneuve, S tier. He had quite the motorsport resume, especially the F1 resume. Again, definitely probably the greatest Canadian driver outside of Goatifi. In A, we have Gilles Villeneuve, his father, a career cut short, and a guy who could have been a world champion, I think, if he didn't tragically lose his life in 1982. B tier, we have Lance Stroll just by default because, I mean, he's better than the other two guys who were barely remembered. And in C tier, we have a 2-for-1 special here with George Eaton and Alan Berg. They were there. That's really all you can say about them, unfortunately. They were there. But yeah. So those are my final rankings. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Do you, where would you rank? It's really Jacques. Where do you rank Jacques? Do you think he's an S tier driver? Do you think he's an A tier driver? I'm putting him S tier. I just think, if we were looking at all of motorsport, he's right there. Like, Nicholas Latifi aside. Like, he's right. Well, Nicholas Latifi would actually be here. But Nicholas Latifi aside, if we're talking all of motorsport, yeah, he's a Canadian motorsport legend. Controversial? Yes. But a legend nonetheless. So how do you rank Jacques Villeneuve? Are you Canadian? Are you not Canadian? If you are Canadian, how do you rank any of these Canadians that have had 5 or more starts in F1? Do do you think Gilles Villeneuve is the greatest Canadian race driver? Let me know down in the comments. I've been your host, Moon, and this has been the Formula Moon Canada Day special. Peace.